which now usually runs on a schedule, but it's fine. And if we go look here, you can see it's talking about the signal. So if we scroll down, SaaS solutions, a comment highlighted the risks of n8n solutions going down after numerous you say it's okay to give Claude your API key. Okay, so anyways, these are all real based on real comments of real people. Now, let's say I want to make a video on one of these topics. It doesn't really matter which one it is, to be honest. But let's just say that customizable membership dashboards. I like this idea. So I will tick it. And now in deep research, this will soon get a topic and a document. Okay, so this should be done any second now, and we should get there we go. Okay, so this is giving us our own number, which is exactly related to the sheet that we just had. And let's look at the deep research. Technical architecture for a customizable AI membership dashboard on Superbase. So it's given us a bunch of things that you could read on and educate yourself about before you actually go ahead and film a video. Now, the part I want to mention about this is that if you look at my drive, this was just building an AI. This just gets dropped into this YouTube drive. And now the next part of the flow will take this and we'll turn it into a post. Okay, so look, we get this here as a document for us to have. And now Telegram, if I open this chat, you can see here is your post. This is the actual LinkedIn post right here. Here is the post, and it's given us this. Your encrypted keys are not safe, with a full infographic here. 0. This is 0 raw API keys exposed to the client. That's a big statistic one. Okay, awesome. We have the next one here. How you lose money, the incorrect result. Okay, so this one needs to be replaced. And we have the third one here. If we open this one, this is what it looks like. Your billing system is leaking money. The race flaw condition, double service, single charge, fix it in the database. Cool. Is your billing system built for production or DM me? Nice. So you can see we got posts here. So we get posts with infographics, carousels. You get a deep research document that you can read, and you end up with a bunch of Okay, so let's talk about how you actually build something like this. And the first thing we're gonna just need is some kind of Google Sheet like this. I can put this one in the description so you can just go ahead and make a copy of it, which has titles. Pick to go for. All right, and this will then have deep research. You only need these two, and then YouTube. Pick a here, and I have set up LinkedIn in case you haven't seen them. It made us the following LinkedIn. I think this is the best one in my opinion. It's pretty nice. It's very aesthetic. So we got these three. And we also got the accompanying. Okay, so once you have all that, we can actually build it. It's ideation to distribution. It's going to get ideas and it's going to also create a way for us to distribute them. Okay, so we'll just start by adding a trigger. We'll put on a schedule trigger here. Let's say I want it to run every day at 6 in the morning, just for the first part of the workflow, which is just going to be the generation of YouTube video ideas. Okay, just like this. Now YouTube has a built-in native node, which you can obviously see right there. So we can use it to get many videos. So you click on YouTube and you're looking for get many videos. So get many videos, you'll do this. I'll probably limit it just to 10, for example. Add option, channel ID. So if I'm gonna go with like Nick Sarive, for example, and I go to his YouTube channel, which is this is his channel, then we want to get his channel ID. So what you do is you simply look at this link and you need to extract the ID. So all you're going to do is you're going to go to more, share channel, and copy the channel ID. Now we're going to go back in here. We're going to actually just execute this. If I connect this here and I execute, I'm going to just duplicate this and I'll pick a different guy. For example, I could go with, let's say, Nate Hurk. He's another AI automation guy. Go to more, share channel, copy channel ID, go back in here, change the channel ID to this one. If I execute this, you can see he's made 6 videos in the last 7 days. And if we go look at his videos, that is true because I think he posts one every day. So we basically are able to get the people that we want their videos. So you could have 10 of these if you wanted. All you gotta do is go to their channel, press share, right? Go to share channel, copy the channel ID here, and then just put these into their respective places. Okay, now I don't want to keep hitting this API, so I'm gonna just press P, and here press P, which is gonna just pin it. So I get a total of 11 items. What I want to do from here, I want to get the comments and I want to get the actual signals in the video of what users like, what users who have watched these people who are in my niche, who are good at creating a lot of content, what do users like to see from them? So to do that, we're just going to press the plus here and we're going to get a loop. Okay, we're going to get in a loop node. And what I want is first, I want to just extract the ID and the title of these videos. So I'm going to go to a set node. If I open this, I want the video ID, which is this. So I'll pull it there. This is the ID. We'll just name it ID. And I want the video title, just so I know what it's about, which should be in the snippets. Here it is, title. Okay. And now if I run this, I get one item, which is the first video ID and the first video title, which is this video. Sorry. This should be the first one because we picked a batch size of 1. ID published at channel ID is UC2. That's Nate Hurk's. Okay, cool. So we have this video ID and title. Cloud code is better than I am, yeah. So that's, I think, the one that we have here. Okay, So now we have the video ID and we have the title. The next thing I want to do is I want to get the comments. I want to get the comments. So by the way, the credentials for this, if you have an issue with the credentials, I'm going to show you how to deal with that right now. Okay, so that you have your credentials running properly, because you're going to need them again. Here we're going to open a HTTP request. Okay, and we're going to access a certain URL. So you're just going to go here, go to URL, paste it in. Here's the URL. It's googleapis.com, YouTube v3, comment, threads, part, snippet. Video ID is just going to be this video ID. So the way you do that is you just simply drag it in. So like that. But obviously we want it to be here. So what you would do is you'd go in between video ID and pick the video ID, drag it right there. Here you're going to put your API key that you've been using. So the account that you used here to set up this credential, you need to put that API key in here. So I'm obviously gonna not show mine right now. But so you put the API key in there, and that's this entire node. This will get us the comments of those videos. So I'll put my API key and I'll show you what it looks like. So I've put my API key in here. If I execute this flow, you can see I get this item output. Okay. You can see I have gotten an item over here. So you can see we have YouTube, we have the e-tag, the next page token, the page info. So it's a lot of data, but it's very messy, which right now isn't very useful to us in that form at least. So we're going to clean up this data. And we're going to clean it up using a code node. So go here, type in code in JavaScript. This is code, you just need to paste it if you want to learn about why it works or how it works. I have an in-depth explanation in the documentation, but it's just pretty much going to clean up all the code, all of the comments that it's readable to us. Okay, so you can see if I execute this and I run this entire thing, we have cleaned up this data a lot. We have here comments, video ID, comment count, not like how it looked here, which is very, very messy and very difficult for us to read. The last thing I'll do is I'll put a set node here. I'll go back to edit fields where we had the ID of the video, the title of the video, and now we can just grab the comments from the code node of the video. And like I mentioned, the code node is going to be in the description. All you gotta do is open up the thing and paste in the code exactly as it is. Okay, now if I execute this flow, you can see we get ID, title, comments, which is very clean, very easy for us to read. And this will just feed back in here into loop over items. So it will loop over these. We have 11 items. It will just loop over them consistently. Okay, perfect. Now what happens after it's done the loop? So I'm going to go here. I'm going to open another here. I'm going to press set. Here, I'm just pretty much looking for the title and the comments. So if it's completed this single run and I press this plus, all right, now this is it's run all 11 times and we've gotten all 11 comments. But basically what I want here is I want title and I want comments. Okay, so if I execute this step, you can see we have the title and we have the comments we have title, comments, title, comments, title, comments, title, comments. These are for all the videos that we got. We have the titles and we have the comments. This now is what we're going to feed into ChatGPT, or you can pick any LLM you want, but I'm going to go with OpenAI. I'm going to do message a model. I'm going to pick my OpenAI account. We're going to use 4.0 mini just because it's very, very cheap. Now, just to make this a little bit, because of we're just testing it a lot right now. I'm gonna do something that you guys don't do this. I'm gonna just set a limit to 1 because this is us testing it out. I'm gonna eventually hit a limit on this request because I've been running the system a lot today. Find it there. Here it is. Role. You are an implementation consultant, data environment, ruthless filtering, core objective, authority building. These are all things you can change. Whatever your core objective is with the content you make, you should probably change this to be about that. Okay, perfect. Now we need to actually give it this data. So we'll add a message. Now for the user, here's where we're going to put video title and just drag this in. And we have video comments and drop the comments in right there. Okay, I'll run this again. As you can see, it's now going to go to the model and it's gonna get the video title and the comments, and it's gonna run an analysis. And look at the analysis, what we have here. Okay, we have a bunch of stuff. Again, we don't have to read that whole thing right now. We are gonna clean it up completely before we even attempt to read it. So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go to code, press enter, code in JavaScript. Again, this is going to be in the description, so you don't need to bother. I'm going to paste it in just like that, and I'm going to just pin that just so that it doesn't force run the entire thing again. Okay, so here's what we have. From this, what's hidden inside this right now is this information. Title, building robust engineering workflows with Cloud Code, overcoming technical hurdles. Another idea it's come up with is streamlining workflows, automating human tasks with Cloud Code. And another idea is securing data, your best practices for self-hosted n8n. And these are all signals from real people who have written real comments. Okay? And so the last part of this now is we're going to go to here and we're going to go to Google Sheets. And we're going to go to append row in sheet. I'll pick my Google account. I'm going with distribution and YouTube ideas. This is just wherever you have made this sheet is the one you need to put for this part over here. Okay? So for the title, you just drag in the title, drag in the signal, drag in the expert solution, the authority angle, and the CTA. Now this is just the checkbox. Yeah, it's just a checkbox, so you don't need to really worry too much about that. Now if I execute this step and I go here, you can see these three have now just been added. So that's the first part. That's the first part done of how to go about this kind of a thing. This is the first part of the system, which is basically a way to get YouTube video ideas. we have that working, functioning well, got this running here, great. So the next part is going to be about topic to deep research document. Now, since we're going to trigger it by clicking on one of these checkboxes, we're going to have to make that the way that this flow initiates itself, or that's the trigger. So go to Sheets, Triggers, and you're going to go on row updated. Okay. Make sure you choose the same, exactly the updated. And the column we want it to watch is called false, right? It's called false because the entire thing is just checkboxes, which by default are false. Okay, so we'll put that here. It's gonna pull in all of the current items that we have. You can see it's got 80 items. But don't worry, that's because there's not been an actual change. When there's an actual change, it's only gonna get that one. To set and open a set field where we're going to create something called input. And here, like I mentioned, I'm going with teach me everything about this or cinema. And then I've just pulled in the title. I mean, sorry, I pulled in the expert, right? You can change that to be whatever you want it to be. You can change this prompt. This is what the deep research is going to get. So make sure you pick carefully what you want it to research on. I'm just going with that. Now to actually do a deep research, we're gonna go here. We're gonna go to HTTP request, open the HTTP request, change this to post, and there's a URL that you're gonna paste in right here. And so for the URL, again, you need to use your own API key. So if you look at this here, here's just where you'll paste your API key. Okay, so you just paste it in there. The authentication is none. And now we'll turn on send headers. So the first header we're going to send is content dash type. Here's one thing you want to do when you're typing this out is content type. Don't press space before moving down here because that space counts. So don't do that. Just have content type. Don't have any space after it. Okay. Here we'll type in application slash JSON. If you have any issues with this node, it's very likely just to do with the way you spelled things because it's a very case sensitive node. Okay, so we're gonna an input and I'll drag in this as the value, which is gonna be from the set node we just had. The agent that's going to do this is called deep dash research dash pro dash preview 12 2025. Again, okay, even this, make sure it's not got any space bar before or after. Okay, the execution from here. Let's go here. Let's say I want to post a video on mastering AI system integration, anti-gravity versus Claude. I will tick this box. Don't worry about that. I'm just gonna copy over this limit node. We've got one item, but this is not the one that we want. I'm gonna just set it to the last item. Okay. So now I run this, we get this, and I run this, and we get it started our deep research. Cool. Awesome. Okay, now what we'll do is we'll put here a wait node, okay, because this will take a long time. It usually does take a long time. And in the meantime, what it'll do after the 3 minutes is it'll run another HTTP request. And this time, what it's gonna do is it's gonna check the progress of the other one. Okay, so the way you do this is, again, this is gonna be a get, not a post. You're gonna just simply, this is gonna be the URL. The JSON.id right now will be gray because we haven't actually run this wait node. So we can actually just run the wait node. And so status, and we're gonna see is equal to completed. Okay, and so obviously if it is true, meaning it has completed, we're gonna go into the actual progress of the work before running back into the check node to see if it's done or not. Here, Google Gemini, message a model. All right, that's message a model right there. And okay, well, we need to wait for this to run. So anyways, I'm gonna just pin this node. Node is done, so I can run this node and run this node. So it's still in progress. So we'll have to wait another minute before we, which is what this node is for. Just gonna deactivate this for a second and execute this workflow. Gonna wait 1 minute, go back and check. Wait a minute, go back and check. Wait a minute, go back and check. That's what's gonna happen. This seems like it's been doing the deep research now for almost 4 minutes, which is a lot, it's a lot of time to be doing research. But the good thing is you don't have to be here obviously while this happens, right? This will all happen automatically behind the scenes. You don't need to really worry about it. So I'm gonna just let this keep looping until it's done. It's already looped twice, still in progress. So it's gonna keep, oh wow, that's the third one. Okay, perfect. After about 6 minutes total, it's finally done. So you can see this is completed from this HTTP request 2. It's true. So this is now coming output here is true. Okay, so here's now what we're gonna do. We're gonna connect this to a Gemini, Google Gemini message a model. Okay, Gemini 2.5 Flash. And here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna say this is the list of questions, a deep research document. Okay, so we need to have an edit fields before this, which is actually this one right here. So the reason that this is not working is because this is edit fields 3. I just checked the name, edit fields 3, reference edit fields 3. This is the list of questions the deep research document answers. Or maybe we'd want to say that this is the topic for a document. Okay, I'm going to just deactivate this wait node right now, and I'm going to run this. Because I don't want to have to wait again, even because I now already know it's completed. Okay, so the output of this, technical mastery, multi-agent n8n automation with Cloud Code. That's the title we're gonna go for here. I'm also gonna pin that now. And here, all we're gonna do is use a set node to grab this text. So get a set node, and we're gonna call this in here. We're gonna need to put the input, which is what we fed into the HTTP request, and then we're gonna put the output, which is gonna be the title. We'll call it doc_title. Is the document title. Okay, so if I run this, Perfect. We get input, we get doc title, which is all that we needed really. And now we're going to connect this to another node, which is going to be a markdown to HTML. So markdown here, we're going to go markdown to HTML, and we're going to feed in the, no, sorry. We need the output. We need the output, right? We can just write the expression here. Expression, yeah. So we call the if node get item JSON output 0 text. So this is the actual deep research. My apologies for that. So that's what actually needs to go into here is the output, you know? So I'm going to just disconnect this really nicely, run this entire thing again. Perfect. Put this in here. And the markdown is going to be the output. Sorry, I didn't mean to put input. This is supposed to be output. Okay, so we get markdown. And now we want to convert this. I'm just going to pin this, execute this step. We now get data here, data. This is the HTML. This is the HTML version of the markdown. And the reason we're doing that is because that's the way that Google Drive will be able to create a Google document for us. Okay, so now we're gonna just go to set fields again, just so we can clean up everything nicely. We're gonna have the doc title. We're gonna have the HTML content. Name this HTML underscore content. And now here, I want it coming in here, my Google Drive. I'm gonna copy this folder ID. I'm gonna copy it. I'm gonna paste it here. I'm gonna call this drive underscore folder underscore ID. I'll pin this, execute this workflow. You know, as a matter of fact, I can just pin these all now. If I execute this workflow, it should run really quickly. Okay. So we have this doc title, HTML content, drive folder ID. Now we need to think about this, that if you look at this, there might be some kind of table within this. Like here, see this? This is table data. And we want it to format nicely if it's a table. So the way we do that is with a code node. Okay, code in JavaScript. And again, don't worry about it, just paste it in. I'm putting it in the description. This will convert markdown tables to HTML tables. This will clean up the links from the previous setup. And this will do CSS styling again for tables. Okay, so I'll pin this. If I execute this whole flow, proper output. Next, HTTP requests. This is going to be to create an actual Google document. So here you're going to go ahead and set it to post. Google APIs upload drive v3 file upload type multipart. Paste the link in. It's all already in the documentation. I'm going to select my OAuth 2 API. So you're going to go for predefined credential type. Go here and we're going to look for OAuth 2 predefined credential type. But I remember it was called. Okay, let's search for Drive. Google Drive OAuth 2 API. Perfect. Okay, now you're going to turn on send query parameters. We're going to have upload type as multipart, although we also specified this in the URL, but anyways. And then here we're going to go for supports all drives. All right, supports all drives, and turn this to true. And then for the send body, we're gonna turn this to raw, and the content type is gonna be multipart, because it is multipart / related. Put a semicolon actual body, which is what we're sending. Perfect. If I run this entire thing, and that node executes successfully, I should have a new file here. Boom, just appeared right there. Gemini research report, technical architecture and implementation of multi-agent workflows in n8n. Okay. Well, there's a little bit of a problem is it did not. And now the last thing I'm going to do is another set field. We use a lot of these set fields just because it makes it very easy to see where all the data is. All we want here is the link. So I'm going to go link, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do here. You're going to write, this is what you're going to write, okay? You're going to click on this thing. You're going to make sure it's not fixed, but make sure it's expression. Make it full screen and paste this in, okay? And now in between these two slashes is where you're going to put this json.id right there. Okay. This will give us a web view link for the actual thing. And so now if I run that entire thing, we get a link at the end. Now I'm going to press here, go to Sheets, Google Sheets, append row in sheet. Okay, distribution. I'm now going to go to my deep research one. Is simply this link. So I'll put that there. The title, well, it will get it when we publish it. Right now it won't. Right now it won't get it, but in publishing it will. Because that's going to be an active workflow. So here I'm just going to go ahead and write here Google Sheets trigger item JSON, and it's going to get the row number. But you know what, for now we can just delete that. If I execute this step and I go to my deep research, as you can see, I now have technical mastery and I have this document right here, which is the deep research on that topic. Okay, so this video has already been quite long, so I think I'll post how to do the next bit in the next video. So the next bit is probably the longest because it's this entire flow right here, which is about taking all of the information and sending it into 3 different places to make 3 different carousels for us and connecting them all through Telegram. So that will be in the next video.